Hey everybody, welcome to At the Table with Chef Jill, and I am so excited about today's show because it's all about back to school. Look, I have 2 kids. I know what it's like when summer's over and you need to get back into the routine and 100 things are going on at once. So I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks and tools to getting you set up in your kitchen for delicious snacks, meals, breakfasts, all the things. So let's get started right off the bat with breakfast. So what I wanna do here, I find this recipe to be perfect for on the go, perfect for after school snack, or if you're trying to run to a practice or something like that. These are my granola cookies. They are delicious. They are super easy to make however you want to, mixing in all your own favorite stuff, but I'm gonna show you how I make them. So in this bowl here, I have some creamy peanut butter, some honey, and then 2 ripe mashed bananas. You gotta get them ripe, and there's a trick, a chef trick. If you don't have ripe bananas and you need some, here's what you wanna do. You wanna get them in a 300-degree oven with the peel on, and just throw them in until they're black, and it'll soften them up. It's just the easiest trick. I do it all the time when I wanna make banana bread. I added a little vanilla in here, a little salt, and now let's go ahead and add them to my bowl. In this bowl, I have some oats, and I have my favorite granola. I just picked a normal granola, just whatever you like. A vanilla granola, you can find stuff that has stuff in it. I just like to keep it kind of simple because I'm gonna add in all my favorite stuff. Now, this is completely interchangeable. So for me, what I like to get the kids to eat it, chocolate chips. You gotta do the chocolate chips, get them to eat it, but let's get some healthy stuff in there too. I like doing some sunflower seeds, do pumpkin seeds, do nuts, do whatever you want. I'm also gonna add in some dried, we're gonna do either dried cranberries, raisins, I'm gonna be doing some cherries today, but you put in whatever you like. And if your kids don't like that, you can throw together some coconut, whatever you like. Once in a while, I will put in chia seeds, flax seeds. It's just something to get a very fast breakfast or a snack ready to roll. So as I'm stirring this up, I have my oven preheating, and it's preheating to 325 degrees. And because I don't have any baking powder, baking soda, anything like that in here, these cookies are not gonna rise. So you don't need to worry about, placing them far apart on the baking sheet. And I'm gonna flatten them a little bit as well. So once these are all smushed together, you know what, let's add a little cinnamon too. Why not? Let's get crazy. It's back to school. All right, get that cinnamon in there, and I have over here a cookie scoop because it just makes my life so much easier, one of those small ice cream scoops. And I have a baking sheet here. And what I'm gonna do, there's a trick. I spray my hand with a little cooking spray. You can put a little oil, little coconut oil, whatever you want, because these are a little sticky. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a scoop, pack it, but that way your hand won't really stick to it. Put it down, and then just give it a little flatten, just like that. And I'm just gonna fill this up. Like I said, you can put them right next to each other because they are not going to stick. And they're gonna go in your oven at 325 degrees for about 17 minutes till they're lightly golden brown and delicious. And then once they come out of the oven, let them cool down and go ahead and put them in the fridge. You wanna put these in the fridge. They stay together beautifully when you do that. Whoops, okay, a little bit got stuck, that's okay. And I'm gonna show you what these look like now, because of course I've already made some for you. So look at these. So good. They're protein, they're fiber, they're delicious, they're hearty, they're gonna fill you up. They don't fall apart, so you can eat them in the car. Does anybody else find that to be incredibly helpful if you can get a snack that doesn't fall apart in the car as you're running late to school? I do. These, they don't fall apart. They're delicious, and you know what? They're not just for the kids. Go ahead and grab them as well, parents. And then meet me back here. I'm gonna show you a snack that's sweet, it's salty, it's hearty, it's all the things. I'll meet you back here. Okay, and like those granola cookies that are hearty, I also want a snack mix you can very easily bag up at the beginning of the week and take with you on the go. So, I love a trail mix, everybody does, but let's revamp it a little bit. Let's elevate it a little bit. So we're gonna make our own kind of trail mix, savory mix thing. So what I'm gonna do first is I have some melted butter, a little Worcestershire sauce, and then I'm gonna add in some steak seasoning from Pelkins. They have a million different seasonings in Swamico or Crivets. I just felt like this would go really well. So I'm doing just a little bit of steak seasoning, mixing that with the butter and the Worcestershire. And on my tray here, I have a box of Chex, and some pretzels. Get whatever kind of cereal you like, get whatever kind of pretzels you like. To me, I just think this tastes really good. I'm gonna drizzle it with all of this butter and seasoning. I'm gonna give it a little toss so everything gets coated. And then I'm gonna get it into an oven and just let it start baking down, getting nice and crispy, making our own kind of Chex Mix, trail mix hybrid, basically. We're gonna make it sweet and salty and super hearty. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven. Let this start getting crunchy. I'm gonna stir it every like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes or so until it's nice and light golden brown. Now, what do we wanna put in this? I'm gonna do a good mix of everything. First, dried cherries, because I want that sweet, right? I know you're like steak seasoning, what are we doing? Worcestershire, just trust his face. I know what I'm doing. Cherries, get them in. And then I'm gonna add some dark chocolate. I chopped up some chocolate, but if you just wanna throw in chocolate chips and make your life easier, it's back to school. You do what makes your life easy. Now we're gonna throw it for a little bit of a twist. I'm gonna do Parmesan crisps, those Parmesan cookies you can buy, or not cookies, excuse me, crackers. They're just these little salty nuggets that are delicious. Toss them in. Now, almonds. I'm gonna do almonds. I've got some smoked almonds here, which will go really well with that steak seasoning. If you don't wanna do smoked almonds, you do whatever you like. Like the granola cookies, this is one of those, run my knife through these. While I'm running my knife through this, please look behind me at the gorgeous florals from Pedal Pusher down the street. They're just a couple of doors down from Gather on Broadway, my business, and they are fantastic. I want you to go visit them when you have a chance. Their stuff is gorgeous. Now I've got these almonds here. Let's go ahead and toss these in. So already we've got this sweet and salty, smoky mix going on. Now, here's where I'm gonna throw you for a loop. Pelkins is coming back, honey. Beef jerky, they have this beef jerky here that's super like, I got the mesquite, and I'm gonna chop it, and I'm gonna add it to this. And what that's gonna do is add this this with the cherries alone is fantastic, but it's gonna add this really beautiful, meaty, sweet, and salty, all my favorite things. All right, and once you have this all chopped up, I'm gonna add it into my bowl here, and you can see this. I would eat this snack mix just like this, with the cherries and the dark chocolate and the Parmesan and the mesquite flavor. Delicious, but when you come back, I'm gonna pull that from the oven. It's gonna be nice and light and crispy, and I'm gonna let it cool down. We'll toss this all together, and I'll show you how it looks when it comes out. All right, my Chex Mix is cooling down right now, so let's get to some slow cooker chicken. Now listen, slow cooker is your friend in these busy days. It is your friend. And what I like to do is make a huge amount of this chicken, and I'm gonna show you how to divide it up in different ways. One, for a daily meal prep for lunch, and then two, to make fabulous make-ahead burritos. So in my slow cooker, I've got these gorgeous chicken breasts from Pelkins, and I'm covering them with onions and garlic. I'm gonna add in my favorite salsa. Go ahead and just dump it in. That's what I love about slow cookers, just go. We've got some ground cumin. And of course, you might wanna measure this stuff out, which you can find the recipe at the flow code if you scan that, or go ahead and go to wearegreenbay.com. Chili powder, garlic powder, onion powder. Let's flavor this up. Chicken breasts are boring. We wanna get some flavor going on here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw down green chilies, diced green chilies, delish. Just dump it all in. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt in here as well. Nice pinch of salt. Let this go low and slow for the day while you're gone. I'm gonna move it to the side because of course I already have some ready for you here. Now what I did was I divided it into two bowls. This first bowl, what I'm gonna do, I shredded it up and I went ahead and just tossed it in all the juices. Delicious. I'm gonna add a huge handful of Wyowega Star Dairy shredded cheese. I'm using a little bit of their Monterey Jack. And then I'm also gonna add in a huge handful of black beans. You can use pinto beans if you'd rather, because this is gonna be our frozen burritos. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do some fresh corn. You can use frozen if you want, make your life a little easier. Give this a good toss. And what I love about this is now we can make a bunch of really delicious burritos ready to go in the freezer. All you have to do is just bake them straight from frozen, and it just helps get you ahead on those days where life is crazy. So you get a big old tortilla, just like that. Now, the reason I mix all of this is I can't stand getting burritos that are not like you get a bite of cheese and then a bite of chicken. I want it all combined. I want it all put together. So you go ahead and add a big handful in. Now for me, I like to add a little more salsa to this, a little more flavor. If you like onions, go ahead and add onions in here, whatever you like. But I'm gonna hit it with a little more salsa. This is my mom's salsa. She makes this from her garden and cans it. I eat it all year. You're gonna fold them in like this so they kiss. Bring this all the way up, fold it, roll it, wrap it in foil, put it in your freezer. Easy peasy. Now, what about the other side? I'll make the rest of these later. I'm gonna show you the other side here. Chicken, let's do the same thing. Let's do some black beans. Let's do some cheese. Now, the only thing I made different about this one is I have some rice on the side. So what I did was I grabbed one of those great meal prep containers that you can get at any grocery store. Put a little rice on the bottom, just like that. Give this a good stir, just like you did for your burritos. This is healthy, it is delicious. You can add in whatever vegetables you like, but we're keeping this a little on the southwestern side. I'm gonna go ahead and pile that right on top. But to me, for myself, this isn't saucy enough. So we're gonna make this saucy with my mom's salsa right over the top, and now you've got lunch for the week. You've got burritos for the future, you got lunch for the week, and you were able to do it all in the slow cooker. Comes together quickly. I'm also gonna sprinkle mine with a little bit of red onion. I'm gonna do 6 of these, I'm gonna do 6 burritos, and I'm good to go. So when you come back, I'm gonna show you how to take everyday meatloaf. Everyone makes meatloaf. I'm gonna show you how to make not your mama's meatloaf. It is so stinking delicious. It's one of the things people request from me most, and I'm excited to show you my tricks. One of my favorite recipes on the planet is this meatloaf, and I need you to trust me, it is so delicious. Over on my stove here, I have got some onions sauteing up. They got a little translucent. I'm adding in some garlic, and I'm also gonna add in some fresh thyme that I just chopped up. You can also use dried thyme if that's all you got. No problem. Now we're making a huge batch of this meatloaf. I'm gonna tell you why. It's gonna make your life so much easier. We're gonna make one for dinner tonight, and we're gonna freeze the other one so you have dinner ready to go in the future on days when you just don't wanna have to worry about it. So my garlic, onions, and thyme are doing their thing. I'm gonna go ahead and add in tomato paste. That's gonna add a really beautiful richness to this dish. And I'm gonna add a little Worcestershire sauce. If you've watched anything I've ever done, you know I have a deep, deep love of Worcestershire, so we need to get that in here. And now I want to cook this tomato paste for just a minute, just to kind of get that raw tomato feel out of there. But it only takes a minute. Now, while this is cooking down, let it do its thing for a minute. While it's cooking down, a few things. For my meat, I've got 3 pounds of Pelkins ground beef. To this, let's go ahead and add in 2 eggs. And I'm gonna add in some of my Wyowega Star Dairy Parmesan. I just like to add in a good handful. I just measure this with my heart. I don't worry about measuring cups. That looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and add in a great pinch of salt. Salt makes everything taste better. Good pinch of pep. Now, I have a secret. I have a secret you must know about. I'm gonna show you how I do this. Let me pull this from the stove. All right, you cooked that, looking good. That tomato paste just kind of melded into those onions. That's what I'm looking for. We're gonna put that to the side for just a minute. Here is my trick to fantastic meatloaf. You're gonna get garlic croutons. Just get garlic croutons, just the ones you can buy at the store. You don't need to make your own. You just get them from the store. And I'm gonna give them a little crush. I throw them in a freezer bag. You can put them in a food processor. However you want to crush these up. Make your kids do it. They think this stuff's fun. Now, in a bowl, I'm going to go ahead and add in buttermilk. We're going to get some buttermilk going on here. Get that buttermilk. And then we're going to add our croutons and soak the croutons in the buttermilk. And then add it to the meatloaf mixture. It's so good. I'm telling you. This is so delicious. I've done this for cooking classes before, and people are always requesting this recipe. I hear it all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. Let that soak in. I'm going to add a little more buttermilk. I can tell that these are some crunchy croutes, so I'm going to go ahead and mix those up. I've got my oven just preheating right now. I've got a sheet pan as well ready to go to the side here because I don't put mine in a loaf pan. I freeform it, cooks faster, makes life easier. All right, let that soak up. Now I got my Parmesan, my eggs, my salt, my pep. Now go ahead and throw down your super flavorful tomato paste, onion, garlic mixture here, along with your croutons. Oh, it smells good in here. It smells really good in here. Let's do this. Now, I'm one of those people that if you don't have a ton of time, you don't have to make a huge meatloaf. You can 100% do this and put it into mini meatloaf, just like that. And I'm gonna grab my sheet pan that I have ready to go. And like I said, I line mine with foil, not for any other reason than I just don't wanna clean it. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this really well. Get those croutons all mixed in there, that garlic, that onion, boom. And once that's mixed up like that, I'll take one glove off here. I'm gonna grab this, and I'm gonna cut this in half. We're gonna freeze half of this. We're gonna make half of this. Just eyeball it. That way, this is good to go for later. And now, if you wanna make it flat, it'll cook faster. You wanna make it round, you do whatever you want. You wanna make it into a turtle or a Bugs Bunny or whatever you wanna do to get your kids to eat it, you do what you gotta do. But I just kind of form it into a beautiful little loaf that's gonna be easy to slice. I'm gonna make a glaze for it. When you come back, I'm gonna show you how to make the most delicious glaze. We'll get it in the oven. You'll see how this turns out. I'll meet you right back here. Okay, meatloaf out of the oven. Now it's time to make the glaze. So I've got some ketchup. I've got some brown mustard. I gotta do my Worcestershire because I always do. It's my favorite thing. It adds so much flavor. And then a little brown sugar. Mixing this up in my favorite silicone cup. This is a silicone measuring cup. It's one of my favorite things I get from Season to Taste. It's my kitchen store I always go to out in Swamico. Go say hi to Catherine. She's got the coolest stuff out there. Look at this measuring cup. It pours, it squeezes, and I'm gonna tell you the weirdest thing. I use this to fill my iron. Put it with water. But it's just one of these things that I feel you need in your kitchen. Go see my girl out at Season to Taste. Now, while I'm glazing this, I also need to talk about a sponsor very near and dear to my heart. If you've never been to Gather on Broadway before, I highly encourage you to take a look at our website and our social medias. We are an event venue dedicated to making every event special. Bring us your anniversary parties, your corporate holiday parties, birthday celebrations, private cooking classes, any special event in your life that we can make memorable and delicious. We want to do it. So find us at gatheronbroadway.com. Get in touch with us. We're the best. All right, so what I like to do now is I get this back in the oven. Even though it's done, I'm gonna get it back in the oven for a few minutes just to let this glaze kind of caramelize a little bit, do its thing. So while this is in here, doing its thing, let's talk about what I did with the other half. I threw it in a freezer bag, the other half of our meatloaf mixture, and I flatten it as much as possible because that way when it's time to thaw it, if you put it in the fridge overnight or if you decide to thaw it in a little water, it'll thaw so much faster than having a big meatloaf in your freezer. So now you've got dinner tonight, you got dinner in the future, it'll come together so fast. Let's talk about what we did today. First of all, that sweet, salty, meaty, all the things, the chocolate, the Parmesan crisp, the Pelkins beef jerky, all of it is in here. Delicious, hearty snack for the week. Don't forget our granola cookies that are just delicious and so easy to take on the go, which during our busy routines, this is what we do. And then that Fiesta chicken, we've got lunch for the week, healthy lunch for the week, which you can mix up any which way. Add some avocado, add some lime, add some cilantro, add some more salsa, get some chips on there, do whatever you want to do. And then freezer burritos. You can either eat these throughout the week from your fridge or go ahead and throw them in your freezer as well. I hope you try these recipes. I hope you love them. Thank you for joining me at the table. I would love to thank my very special sponsors, Season to Taste, Pelkin Smoky Meat, Wyawega Star Dairy, and Pedal Pusher. My girl Nicole did all those florals in the back. Thanks again.